Hello guys, so welcome to my new video. So today we're going to talk about um, some mechanics and actually some pretty basic things that I mostly probably covered in one of my early videos, but okay. So today we're going to mix it all up. So from how to win more battles to some basic tips for beginners, and everything a little bit more clearly done than in my previous videos. So everything mixed up. Mm, this whole video will probably be spent in my garage, except if I find any good replays. So I'm going to also mix it up with this video. So that's basically it for beginning. So what do you need to know? Basic things about World of Tanks Blitz. So knowledge is everything is in this game. So why do I say this? Because I see so many people like going in some tanks, I don't know, that have poor penetration or poor damage per minute. They're trying to take out some nasty tanks in the game like WZ or Tortoise or anything with big armor, big HP or big DPM. So don't do it, it doesn't work like that. Believe me, I have done it many times and I regret doing it. So it isn't worth it. So the best case scenario is that actually against those tanks, if you go alone, you will probably, or the most likely scenario is that you're going to get yourself killed, unless it's like totally necessary sacrifice for the team so you can actually win, so you actually have teammates in your team that have some brains, you know, that they know what you're trying to do. So unless it's kind of that scenario, don't do it. Don't go alone against high DPM tanks or things like that. High armor targets or anything like that, because if you're not good enough to like YOLO, totally in solo mode, then you probably won't be good enough to take out those targets. Uh, Tiers are here for a reason. You gotta remember that. So why are tiers in this game? Not just like for, I don't know, uh, actually progressing through game, but tiers are here for learning the basics of the game. you know this game is not like Call of Duty where actually you can uh, kill enemy with a pistol, if you are good enough. I mean, it is you can actually kill some pretty nasty players, if you know how to deal with them. But in most cases you won't be able to kill overpowered tank if you don't have enough DPM or anything like that. So work together with team. That's my biggest advice that I can tell you for this game. Also, one of the bigger advices is that so stay in low tiers until you actually uh, can play the game correctly. Don't buy so many premium things in the beginning. So don't play things like KV2 in the beginning. So that is also a big problem. Many people don't know. So this is for beginners and people who wants to be good in this game, but actually uh, can't succeed in that path. So this is for you guys, all you who've been struggling like for 3 years in this game and still don't know how to play basics. Go to lower tiers. It's not a shame to be like, seal clubbing for a reason. It's shame if you're like here 5 years and you're grinding your stats over like seal clubbing, but it's not a shame if you're a player that wants to learn, so uh, to learn the game correctly, you need to go to two extreme scenarios. So you must play with totally broken tech 3 tanks, and you have to play with totally underpowered tanks. So nothing in between, you know, nothing like Sherman or T-34, T-34-85, Uh, leave that for later. So don't play KV2 because it's actually, play it, but not so much in the beginning. Many players just are in the phase of the game that actually wants to play KV2, but they are constantly missing. You need to have good crew skills for KV2. You need to have good stats for KV2 in order to play it correctly. And such things like SU, KV, any things like that. That are skill dependent and not like RNG dependent. KV2 is actually RNG dependent, but is mostly skill dependent, based on a player knowledge of the game. So another advice is actually to, when you're starting the game and when you're you must know this. When you're starting the game, you'll be playing against the bots. So that is the wargaming's, I don't know, idea. So if you're playing 10 games against the bots, you will think for yourself, so these players must be stupid. I'm the king of the battlefield, right here. So that's just idea for buying premium tanks, early in the game, so you can actually get some progress with credits. That's not bad if that's like a new profile from an old player, but if you are a new player, don't buy it, because you will just get disappointed and you will leave like 2 weeks after playing the game, because you spent the money and nothing happened. So you actually have to do this. So for the ones that don't know this, in many of the first 100 battles you will be top tier. So what do you want to do? You have to understand that when climbing up the tiers, you will mostly be facing higher tiers. If you're tier 5, you will be facing tier 6 and things like that. So what is the most important advice here? So when you're going with, I don't know, let's say T-34, when we mentioned it before. So you're going to T-34 from A20. So what do you want to do? You want to check all tier 5 and tier 6 stats for the vehicles and remember it as correctly as possible. Why? Well, because when doing so, you will know. So it's all related in the game, I'm too excited to talk one by one right now, so I'm going to explain it the best I can. So when you're going through the stats, you're learning. The knowledge is the essence for this game, just to I don't know what you will be facing in the battle. So when you get step 1, checking all the tier, your tier and tier higher, when you check that data, you will be more comfortable when you see like enemy composition of the team, or what to expect. So you will be more comfortable knowing that actually if you see that tank like Tiger 131 or I don't know, some tier 6 tank, that is stronger than you will know, you will actually immediately have like a fight or flight response, in your brain. So you will know, are you strong enough to actually hold it back till your team arrives if you are alone, or you need to actually go and regroup with your team to actually defeat it together, So that is uh, actually really really important. Then the next thing I want to talk about, not many people knows the real meaning of derp guns in this game. So now it's kind of fixed, but not too much. So early in the game you had like derp guns in most of the tanks, like in Panzer 4 you had, I think it was like 10.5 centimeter gun that dealt like, I don't know, 400 damage, with AP, and 350 like with heat. So what many players did is the following. The many players spammed HE with those tanks. So that is the worst thing on the battlefield. On the battlefield, you want to do with derp gun. So when to spam HE? So you need to spam HE like if the target is actually really really low HP and you want to kill it for a guarantee, Or the other reason is that actually when you can't penetrate enemy at all. So when you're then spamming HE, you want to aim for the gun or you want to aim for the tracks, so you can actually uh, destroy its modules, so it will be much easier, for you to destroy it. So I will be like giving you the classic example. It's not derb gun, but it's like a machine gun on the tank. So when you get to tier 5 you will probably play Leopard. So special thing about Leopard is that actually it's fully auto loader, there is no gun on Leopard anymore, I think, that isn't auto loader. So what do you want to do when you cannot penetrate? I mean, it has nice penetration, but it probably won't be able to penetrate Tiger 131 or Kuromori Mine or any tank like that. So you want to actually spam HE into the tracks because you have like the whole magazine from 12 shells, I think. So it will be enough to knock up a track or to push down the gun to its yellow stats or non-critical damage, for tanks like KV-1S if you're on distance, and they will not be able to hit you as accurately as they should, So don't spam HE unless it's totally necessary. Then what else could I tell you? Yes, besides checking stats, it's most importantly, as I told you, to stay in low tiers as long uh, as you do not know how to play correctly. So that's the main mistake that many people do in World of Tanks Blitz. They are just like, I'm going to grind this one line like Ice 7 or Ice 4, and then I will be pro because I will have tier 10 tank. No, you won't. That's completely false information. That's as false as it can get. So that's totally false information that you will be a pro if you have like one tier 10 tank. No, it is actually nice to have a tier 10 tanks, but you will be losing much more in a tier 10 tank if you don't have like 5,000 battles. You know, it's not a shame not to have tier 10 tank, not at all. So what should you do? You should actually get to tier 4s and get yourself a heavy tank, a tank destroyer, a medium tank, and a light tank. Why? Because you will actually be more comfortable learning how to play tank destroyers on a lower tier where players aren't as experienced on tier 10, you know, but they are still noobs. But those are the players that actually go like grinding one line, you know. The next thing you will be, when you reach tier 5 or tier 6, I don't know correctly, you will be able to learn crew skills, which are important, very, very important, because they are trained in like only one type of a tank, like in light tanks, medium tanks, heavy tanks, and tank destroyers. And also they are important because they enhance your overall power of a tank, you know, slightly, but they enhance it. So it's like you will be able to do some things you wouldn't be able to. So though you can actually count on them, those are like trick shots, you know, or combos or anything you want to be comfortable with, you know, when you are in battle. So it's like, you know, in one of 100 battles, you will be dependent on them. That's for sure, in lower tiers. And then in higher tiers, one of a 10 battle you will be dependent on the crew skills you've chosen. So that's pretty important, you know, like, I don't know, if you're the last one in your team and you will be granted a sorry, that's not in the crew skills, that's just like another crew skill. So you will be actually granted a enhanced visibility, you know, enhanced view range. So that's also pretty important because as soon you see the enemy, as soon you can actually destroy them. Then what's another advice I can actually tell you? I think that's basically it. Don't be mad because I covered previous videos, but I just wanted to make an extra long video, you know, covering all those things, main things of the game. What else? Not AG spamming. Yes, another big advice is actually to respect your tank, as I said. So how do you respect your tank? So in a heavy tank, make corners your best friends. So let them be your best friends, you know, not premium ammo, but corners. Side scraping is the must-have ability, you know, must-have skill in the game if you want to win properly. So take an example for like Tankenstein, or I don't know, Tiger P or Tiger One. Those are all excellent things for side scraping, you know. Russians are not, because they have spike nose, but reverse side scraping, mastering that skill in Russian heavy tanks is making you completely invincible, you know, almost, because most of their turrets are in front, and then you actually have the ability uh, to have actually the greater view angle, you know. So that's also pretty important, because you will be able to hit the enemy and they won't be able to hit you as often. So that's also very important. Angles, it's all in angles, practical math, sorry. So that's also of vital importance in this game, So, guys, thank you for watching. That will be everything for today. As I said, don't be mad at me because I covered most of the recent topics, but I just wanted to have them in one place, so you actually don't have to like watch every video for itself, let it be all here. So, guys, have a good night and see you in the other video. As I told you, I will probably make a video about KV2 or I don't know, E100, one of my favorite tanks, something like that. Maybe it will be even a compilation of videos, like for Heavy Tank Part 2 or something like that. So we'll figure it out. If you have any ideas, if you like my videos, uh, leave it down there in the comments, so we'll make something out of it. So have a good night and goodbye.